Hello, good afternoon. I'm going to talk about the third work group discussion, which was the impact of disability on families. Pretty much everyone in our group followed the Power and Del Orto seven characteristics that influences how families react to disability. Those include the risk factors, the protective factors, belief systems, access to coping resources, family history, the family relationships and the communication styles, and lastly, who in the family is actually disabled. When talking about our group, Kim, she pretty much wrote that she didn't necessarily believe that even if the family is struggling in a variety of ways, then you add the disability on top of that, that the family would break apart. She also stated that we've all known people who have experienced a huge amount of trauma and the ability that they have to go on. She thinks that it basically depends on the person and their attitude, and that even when things look their bleakest, there still may be some of those families that get that one helping resource that helps turn things around. She doesn't really think that anybody can say what is the factor that why some families endure and others struggle. She thinks that people that regardless are all dealing with the grieving process, and that some with disabilities do as well, and that some struggle and some break and others don't. And so, in her total belief, though, she believes that even with all the disaster and heartbreak and struggling, she believes that these families can stay together with the right resources, with the right support. Blair, she discussed the aspects of personality strengths, such as a high self esteem, maintaining positive attitudes, and resilience. Can have those positive influences on one's adjustment to disability. So, again, similar to Kim, always staying on a positive note. She wrote that high self esteem may encourage a person to cope in the face of uncontrollable stressors, and that could result in feelings of inadequacy. Now, she also talked about resiliency, and obviously, we know the definition of resiliency is the ability to bounce back after personal setbacks due to a traumatic event. Because their own personal view of their own ability, coping ability affects how they react to stress. The family's history of experiencing loss and illness and disability can allow for the others to do the same and assess their own situation. So, hence, Blair was more about the family relations and actually family history, number five, more than anything. So I liked that. Um, we talk about Tori. Tori's was interesting because I've actually had experience with that, a lot of experience. She explained how the different cultures deal with the stresses of disability, the belief systems that, by religious and cultural values, how they impact the family. In the Muslim community, where I was at in Iraq, and of course in others, there's a really strong family ties and values of togetherness. That's how they survive. That's how they become stronger. The family is the bond that keeps them together. Because of that bond, they can rely on other friends and family members, and also seek out their opinions about these disabilities. Now, in my experience, based off Afghanistan, Iraq, and other places, the Muslim people in public, mind you, will hide and not admit that they have a family member who's disabled. They'll do their best to try to hide them or keep them in the house. This is due to the tradition that all the males work and contribute to the family, and same with the females, they contribute in their own way as well. So if they're not able to do it because of a disability, then there's a public shame and they're not considered productive. However, though, in the privacy of their own homes, the person who's disabled is treated and cared for very well, because they're still part of the family and they are loved just the same. Now, I think in the end, I think we were all on the same page as a group, especially about the seven factors. But also, not just that, we all believed that communication and family had a huge part in how we cope and deal with disabilities and how families deal with disabilities. You can only deal with it if you come together. And by doing that, you have to communicate effectively and support each other. But I do like the way we all chose kind of a different factor, and then how, and that in turn affects, ourselves and the others around us. So I'm pretty pleased overall. I'm excited to learn that, and I'm excited to see that my classmates also agree that family is the most important thing. So, y'all have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.